Have you ever been victimized by New Age spirituality?
We've been waiting for you. We've been waiting.
You're gonna want to listen up.
I'm Megan, an intuitive life coach and Reiki master.
I'm Ryan, a professional astrologer, and we want to show you what spirituality is by talking about what it is not.
Con artist.
Yes.
Snake oil salesman.
There are so many susceptible people out there.
And then they're tainted. They're ruined. They don't want to come back to spirituality.
We still have a lot to learn, and we will humble ourselves and learn, I think, every freaking day. This is Clairanoyance,
a podcast of spiritual interference.
Welcome back. This is, I think, episode 50.
Is it?
50. Yeah, because I'm just now thinking about that the second we hit record. I was like, what episode is this going to be? Because May astrology was 48. The next episode is 49. Then so
and then what comes after that is 50.
50. I can count. That's fucking nuts, man. 50 episodes. Oh, wow. I'm so excited. And by this point, our giveaway is done too, which is exciting. So that got extended to May 10th. And we got some people getting excited about that.
We'll announce the winners.
Yeah. If you're listening to this and you won, you should have already been contacted. If you didn't win, I'm so sorry. But thank you for
Try
your
again next time.
I'm so sorry. But thank you for your entrance. We're probably not going to contact everybody who didn't get something. But yeah, and we're not gonna say, I was thinking about it, should we draw the names live on the podcast? But I was like, I don't want to
throw somebody's
name out there, in case they don't privacy,
Yeah, we respect boundaries.
Yeah, speaking of privacy and boundaries and shit, so people struggle with having that online sometimes.
Not me.
No, I'm kidding. No. Kind of. This is sort of what we're talking about today. I'm so excited. Yeah. But it is a whole thing, obviously, this social media era, digital space. It's crazy. People, you get on TikTok any given day, you're seeing somebody just crying in their car over the weirdest shit. The types where it's okay, you have to. Their crying is so on
manufactured.
cue.
It's manufactured tears.
Yeah, instead of even caring about what they might be sad about, all you're thinking about is you set up your camera and then you sat yourself back down to continue crying, to have this moment, and you had angles. Think about that.
Yeah, if you're not looking like a troll, if I'm not seeing a double chin, I'm not interested. If you're a pretty crier, I've only met one truly pretty crier where tears I am not a pretty crier, for the record. And if you go anywhere on my social media, you can clearly see that. About 1 in every 6 videos. There I am boo-hooing.
Boo-hooing. Just lately. No, you're really not that. That is not a common thing for you. But when it happens, you do open up about it, which I think is important. And you've always been open about that you're I can't only show my fucking successes and all the amazing things.
Yeah, it's not fair. It's toxic as shit, man. Then you see, because when people struggle or when they are struggling and they, you're not seeing any sort of true representation of that emotion or the process, then you think you're alone in it, and that's toxic. So,
dude, it
embrace
really
me
is.
And my double chins, the snot. I mean, boy, the video this morning, I had chapped lips. I was like, whoa, girl was looking rough.
I'm okay, but at least you weren't that Taylor Swift fan who was literally drooling and snot was pouring out of her nose while she was listening to Taylor Swift's new album.
I love music. I don't love any artist to that
much.
I love my life to that extreme. I will cry about
Although
myself.
I won't lie, my love for Kendrick Lamar did resurface. It totally came right back. I was like, fuck, it's been a long time. Oh man,
I have always loved that short king.
Oh my god, literally.
You don't mess. You do not mess with a man who is 5'5". He is locked and loaded.
And a Gemini. And not even just a Gemini. His son is a 26 Gemini. Mine is a 26 Gemini. He was born June 17th, the year before me. I'm June 16th. But
he decimated.
Yes, I mean, bitch.
I'm worried if I'm Drake. Drake was like, no, bye.
Dude, Drake is and actually, I think he's being he's being the real low vibe Scorpio too. Scorpio is my favorite fucking energy. And he's definitely doing the manipulative, shady, lying kind of shit, like what's going on behind the scenes there, buddy? Like it's not very healthy, clearly.
You're gonna tell lies on me. I'm gonna tell the truth about you. That's all I
Yes,
need to
bitch.
hear, boy.
Right, dude. No, and I love it too because like Kendrick was the perfect Gemini. This is a total tangent from anything we plan on talking about, but Kendrick was the perfect Gemini in the sense of like he epitomized like the two-faced energy of Gemini, like in its authenticity, which was like Gemini's gonna like not go fucking all in. They're gonna like brush that surface and be like, bitch, we can keep it nice. We can play the game. Gemini rules games. He said we can do this for the game, bitch. Keep it
Or,
nice. Or you poke me.
or
Okay, time two. Now we're
I'm
gonna
locked
go
and
in. Now
loaded.
I'm gonna
And
go
by
fucking
the
in.
way, no one's going to make those allegations without concrete proof. So Kendrick was like, I'm going to take you down and the industry.
I
Knock,
can't even,
knock.
dude, I can't. Whatever. We should do a whole serendipity on that and like pop culture and shit. I don't know. This has nothing to do with spirituality technically, but
Or does it?
and we're white, so it's like we can only say so much
White,
about it.
yes, I'm a white. I'm as melanin deficient as they come, but I'm a gangster in my heart.
Dude, same.
Okay.
I grew up on BET. I can't help it. I'm literally
Yeah,
sorry.
like
I'm
I cried.
106 in
I
Park.
remember where I was when Kurt Loder with MTV News came on and told me that Tupac died. Okay, I can tell you exactly where I was.
Whole
I was
thing.
like, oh no. I was
Yeah.
in like fourth grade. I was like, I had no business. Like I didn't know what the
No.
lyrics were, but I was like, oh, my man got
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah. My oldest brother was very, very, very into the hip hop scene, and that really
Yeah.
like brushed off on me. Anyway, all of this is so besides the
Yes.
point, but I do have so much
So
to
we
say
have a
about all this
guest
shit.
today,
We got a
actually.
guest today. The point being is like, Megan, even just today, as of recording this, you won't find it when this is out, but or unless you scroll back and stalk her. But shared vulnerably on social media openly, and like this is the whole thing. And something like I've said, like I am not great with. I definitely tend to keep it more like here's astrology, not really
Yeah.
like anything about my personal life. I guess that's what the podcast is for. So people get some bits on here. But that's kind of like what we're talking about is this idea of sharing openly spirituality, living spiritually.
Openly, but also with integrity, and that's what I like about our next guest because she does that, because anyone can get on here and open your mouth and flap your fat fucking mouth and talk, like and pretend to be an expert or a wizard, and they don't. And what she does is she chronicles her own personal journey, which
Mm,
I love, and has integrity behind it, which, listen to all of the white girls that white girl spiritualities who are like, I've taken one class and I'm now an expert. I will now go to my stand store and please pay $5.99.99
ew,
for for my bullshit class that I copied and pasted. Thank you.
literally. No,
And that's
literally.
not what our next guest does, which I appreciate.
This is what I love about our next guest. Like, truly, it's like you definitely check the show notes, follow her. You can literally scroll back a few years and like literally just see like
The
the
evolution.
evolution of her spiritual journey. Like, my literal thought upon booking her was like, she's like an open book of spirituality, or like I was thinking about like living spirituality, like not just like embodying spirituality, but like literally like how spirituality evolves over time because you see her journey with it like in real time, essentially. So, without further ado, we'll get into so much here, but Karina Alonso, our guest today. I'm so excited. Will you please introduce yourself in your own words? What do you do? Who are you? What should people know?
Hi, Ryan. Hi, Megan. First and foremost, thank you so much for having me. But yes, my name is Karina, better known as Karina Healer 1111 on TikTok and Instagram. Those are the only two platforms where I share bits of my journey. I was gonna start off by saying, like, I'm an astrologer, I'm a numerologer, I'm a tarot reader, but I don't love labels and I don't like to associate myself with those labels because there's also a lot of people out there that claim those labels that are nothing like me, I feel. And I feel really, I'm just me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel that I just found tools along the journey to help me uncover who I truly am at the core. They help me pretty much peel through the layers of the trauma, of the conditioning, of all the life experiences, all my poor choices that I've made in life, and how much I've learned through those experiences.
I know a good time when I see one, girl.
And it's like, instead of becoming the victim of all of that, I just learned to use these, like I said, tools that help us humans evolve, instead of using it to get my ex back and to cast a spell on a person I hate and to, go look at somebody's chart and figure them out. Like, I feel that I'm using them for something more positive, I guess, and something good for myself. And I feel that through sharing myself on social media, my hope is to open other people's eyes to the reality of spirituality, not like the woo-woo stuff that it's not really helpful. It's not helping anybody. It's actually throwing you backwards.
Yeah, the reality of spirituality. That's catchy. That should be the name of this episode.
I know.
Right,
it always comes out somehow in the episode, so we'll see. We'll see. I usually keep a little running list of phrases that pop up.
Yeah, we're gonna make t-shirts.
Yeah, I can already tell that you've got a whole bunch of different quirky sayings that will probably be popping up. Were you always an open book? Like, how did that? Because to share on social, like, I personally don't give a fuck. Like, I'm gonna put it out there. Whatever, however you interpret it, I'll address it if it's in a negative connotation. But I put it out there, and then like, I'm done. All day people have been like, "Hey, are you okay?" After my barf up this morning, and I was like, "Yeah, I barfed it up. I put it online. I'm good." So,
oh yeah, definitely. I've always been an open book since I was very young. I had a lot of opinions, which clearly my family didn't appreciate. But now I feel that even though I've always had all these ideas and opinions, and I've always been very open, sharing, like, my friends, I still have friends from high school, like 20 plus years, right? And they've told me, like, "Oh, thank you so much for sharing XYZ, because this helped me to get to the next level in my career, helping me with my resume," like, whatever, right? And they've always been so grateful that I am such an open book and that I share, like, real life shit with people. Like, if I, for example, get a surgery, like, I'm going to tell you the truth, and I'm going to tell you, did it hurt? How long it took for me to recover? Like, what steps you need to take? I'm not going to hide it and be like, "Oh no, I would never. That's not me." Like, I never got my breast augmented, and they look like watermelons. Like, come on, So so I've always been open that way, and I share your sentiment. Like, I don't give a fuck what people think, because one of my greatest sayings is, if it's not fucking me, if it's not making me money, and if it's not making me happy, then I don't need to worry about it. Everyone is going to have an opinion regardless, right? So it's up to me to give in to those opinions and to entertain them and to believe them, and if I don't believe them, if I check in with myself on a daily basis and I check, like, am I behaving like a good human? Am I doing what I'm supposed to do? Am I being loving and caring towards others, even though I have this mouth on me? And if the answer is yes, like, I'm going to continue to share and to say whatever I want,
So first off, Ryan and Karina had a consultation, so to speak, before, and Ryan gets off the phone, and, like, I think it's like 3 a.m. my time, and I was getting up, and he was like, "Holy fuck, are you gonna love her? You're just," he was like, "You two are just two peas in a pod." And yeah, like, this heart is pure, but this mouth is reckless.
Same, sis, same.
I love that. If it's not fucking me, if it's not making me happy, if it's not bringing me money, I love that, because it's like, fuck, your version of fuck, marry, kill. It's like, fuck, happy, money. Fuck, happy, money, bitch. I love it.
Yeah. When people have negative opinions, when people attack me or they disagree with my point of view, I literally go to my bank account and I check it. And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, it didn't change." So, right?
What a great, wow.
At that point, if you got $0 in there, it's like, oh, did Nameless Frank on TikTok have something mean to say? Oh, this is how many fucks I give.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Let me count them. I love that. I love that. Yes. And so I think this is like a really cool episode. Like you're such a non-traditional guest because um so many of our guests tend to just be like a specialist in a certain area within the spiritual space, past life regressionist, astrologer, tarot reader, Reiki, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You I thought would be so fascinating because of I not only respect like your perspective and expertise and but just like the way you show up on social media and the energy that comes across in your sharing, you know, like there is this vibe to you that is different than a lot of people where so many people will share information about a certain modality or spiritual practice or whatever from a space of I've learned this. Here is this knowledge that I have. And like me too. And like I don't mean it from a space of like I'm an expert because I never want to like feel that way, but like I also don't love talking about things. It's just like always been me. I don't like I guess feel even confident talking about a lot of stuff unless I'm like, oh, I've totally wrapped my brain around this. I've thought about it from like a million different angles. I think it's like the Gemini part of me like wanting to see all perspectives before I can like make an assumption or an opinion. But you will like divulge information, explain something about astrology or tarot or twin flames or whatever, but it's from such an approachable space. There is no holier than thou perspective with you at all, but it's still information people can learn from. But there's such a I don't know if you hate this word, but like humble way of like sharing as well, where it truly it's like this,
You're a perpetual student.
yeah, it's like information democracy.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah,
gatekeeping.
definitely. Definitely. I feel like I'm a student of life.
Hmm.
Yeah, like I feel that I'm a student of life and I'm always going to approach this space. And it's not just this space, like the spiritual space, but it's like in life, I always come into every room, into every country, into every, sacred space with my head down because I understand that I'm nobody. I ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Like on this earth, I'm just like a speckle and I'm here as a visitor. And why would I waste my life away thinking that I know it all or thinking that I'm the one, right? When I can invest it in learning from people that I come across and loving people, because I feel that when you come from a place of love and compassion and understanding and you're open to other people's points of view and perspectives, that is how you learn. And that's how I can go home and apply it to my practices, apply it to what I do share on social media. Like, why do I feel so confident in what it is that I'm sharing? Whether it is something about twin flame or something about astrology, is because I live it. I don't just read it in a book and I'm like, oh, it says here that Saturn is, father time. No, like I live it and I experience it and I try to, like take notes on it and observe, like from an outside perspective. I try to step out of my own body and then look at my life in that way. And I feel like that's what has helped me along the path.
And you're like, okay, Karina is a Sagittarius rising. You know, Sagittarius is the explorer of the zodiac. It literally learns through experience. Then your son, she's a Leo, is in the ninth house, the house of exploration, right? And going on searches for the meaning of life and gaining life experience. Like wisdom is acquired in the ninth house, but it's acquired through experience rather than like reading something in a textbook. So it's so fiery of you in general, this approach. Because it's like it's life, it's how I experience it, and that's how I can share it. Like it is my life. But it's just so in your astrology too, which I freaking love.
Yeah.
What's her moon?
It's in Taurus. And you know what? Because of what he just said, I'm like, yeah. So because I approach like that way, like who the fuck is gonna check me? You know what I'm saying? So I'm not afraid to show up in like public spaces, like TikTok, like Instagram, like bitch, who the fuck is gonna check me? It's my life. You can't take that away. You can't take away my experience,
I'm so
you can try.
Truth. No, that's so fucking true. Do you know what you are in human design?
I believe I'm a generator. And then I'm a 4-6 line.
I'm 4-6.
Really?
Weird.
See,
yeah.
that's why we're so awesome.
And I'm a
Yeah.
6 too. So we have the sixes in
We all got
common.
the 6. Hell
Yeah.
yeah. We're like, I mean, Megan, you interest me because like, we're both manifestors. And I feel like, in my experience, I do feel like, I don't know much about human design, so I can't like speak to generator, I guess, in this, but like,
Oh, I do.
I feel like with manifestors, it's like, because you must get your fair. I know you do, because you get some weird ass fucking DMs, Megan. Like, I feel like sharing so publicly and like so openly, like it's literally, I think, why I don't do it or why I would be scared is because of the repelling aura that a manifestor has. And I feel
Mhm.
like people do clock you as a manifestor. Like, you're just
Yeah.
gonna, it's like, I think there's like a little more risk associated with the public like interaction and judgment or something. Maybe there. It's the kind of the biggest thing, like, I've been able to attribute it to. Like, not, I don't know, there's
Mhm.
many things. Also people pleasing and blah, blah, blah.
And I only have 2 open centers. So I think that that is also another thing. My only open centers are my head and my solar. So
Mm.
I feel like though,
Mm.
like that is in my solar or my, yeah, I think it's my
Your
solar, but
yeah,
I
'cause
only have 2 of them that are open.
yeah, your sacral would be head would make sense because then that would be ideas and
Mhm.
you being able to
Mhm.
experience ideas and bounce them around. And then generators they have the defined sacral. So you have like that you can make things. I mean, it's go-go energy. So manifestors, it's like I have this idea, and then ideally you have like an amazing generator next to you, and it's like it's go time. And like in tag team.
Do you know what's so funny is that just played out in action when Karina and I were on the phone. We were talking about like how I used to do call outs and like she was like, you should just do it more. And then it literally like inspired me to call someone out recently. I mean, I wasn't like a mean call out. I tried to do it in the way that we talked about. It was like an eloquent call out.
Yeah, I'm like, do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she made me do it. That's so funny because that's literally just what you said, Megan. The like dynamic with manifestor and generator right there. Like you totally
Mhm.
That
generated
is
me
so
into action.
cool.
That's really
Yeah.
interesting.
You see, when you guys need someone to push you, just call me.
Hell yes. Yes. So I want to like explain like why. I mean, I know the student of life thing, but you are so multifaceted. And I love anytime a video of yours pops up online because I'm like, ooh, what are we gonna get today? Like where in the world are we? Like, are we in Egypt? Are we in her
I was just
car?
gonna
Are we
say,
at
yeah.
her? Is she on live? Are we doing tarot? Are we astrology? What are we talking about? Like, how do you like just decide, oh, I want to learn this? Are there things that you're like, I definitely have no desire to learn that? And like, how do you mesh it all together into your version of spirituality?
Honestly, I do believe that I have a ton of energy, right? A ton of mental energy.
Mhm.
And so I'm not gonna like downplay that, right? I feel that I have ADHD or I have like 10 different people in my head going at the same time. But honestly, I just go with anything I feel. I feel that the first part of spirituality or like where people need to start when they embark on a spiritual journey is get to know yourself, get to know yourself, do the
Mhm.
meditation, do the journey, do all that stuff. Because once you know who you are and you're strong in your core beliefs, you go with the flow and everything is amazing and it plays out the way that it's meant to play out, and you're trusting every step of the way, you're trusting those leaps that you're taking, right? And that's pretty much how it goes with me. Like I could literally wake up tomorrow and be like, oh, I want to learn more about human design, and then I'll start to like dive in deep. I'll buy a book, I'll watch YouTube, I'll take notes. Like I go in deep, 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 and once I start to understand what the concept is, I try to bring it into my astrology knowledge, my tarot knowledge, my numerology knowledge. How does everything line up together? And everything, for the most part, I feel that it's like languages, right? Like
Mhm.
one word can mean the same thing in multiple languages. So I that's the way that I see it. And then I just choose like what hat do I want to wear today, or which one feels more comfortable to me, and then that's what I do that day. If one day I decide I want to learn all about Saturn from the freaking beginning of when it was discovered to whatever, right? Then that's what I go do. And I really, honestly, I have learned over the past few years to just trust myself, my
Mm,
intuition, and what my inner calling is telling me to do. And I do those things.
mm,
Just like travel, there's not like real planning behind it. I'm not like a year ahead. I want to go to this one place and I'm getting, no, I just literally 2, 3 months before, I want to go here. Well, while I'm there, why don't I go here and here and here? And then I just make the plan. and I'm going with the flow. And then I have great experiences. I meet like the most wonderful people, but I really do believe that I'm being divinely guided to
Well,
step
and
into
that's
these.
exactly where it is because I mean, you said so many gems there, but knowing yourself, if you don't know yourself, you have no business giving any advice to anyone. Like if you can't, you got to know thyself first and foremost. And then once you're able to step into that power, you're able to trust, source and be like, okay, even if things go awry, I might be nervous, I might be scared. This is fucking terrifying. This is great. But I know I'm going to be okay. And you have a dominant belief system that it all works out, as I do. And it does.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Like even when you fall, it's working out in your favor. Like I feel
Mhm.
that that's the one thing that a lot of people don't understand. They feel like spirituality, it's all happiness and love and we should all just kumbaya and hold hands and be nice to each other. And I'm just like, that is not what spirituality is. Spirituality is living in the real world and
Hmm.
learning how to function in the real world as a human because we are humans. Like that's what we're here to do. We're not here to be like the next coming of Jesus, like everybody's trying to do, or to teach people how to do something that you have never yourself experienced. Like I really dislike when people portray to, oh, I can help you manifest all this money, blah, 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 but then you're broke. How are
Yeah.
you? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
that
The
makes no
money is
sense to
coming and
me.
it's in my mind. Okay. I've spent I'm checking my imaginary bank account. That's exactly no, I so agree. These and manifestation. I mean, love teaching about manifesting. I'm a manifester, but there is so much bullshit out there right now that it's
Yeah.
appalling and it's fucking people up. And then people think they brought this on themselves. And it's
Yes.
oh my God, it's insane. So we're with you.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's so hard to like, I think that it's hard like for us to come into the spaces and teach like, I don't want to say the truth because everyone has their own truth, but teach from a genuine perspective, right? And and then seeing these other people there, it's like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be compared to them, but I know that I'm not them, but I'm here, we're here sharing this space. And it's so hard because I feel that for the most part, like some of the clients that I get, because I'm a tarot reader, I do, I do see how like they've already been like tainted by other readers and they have this
Yeah.
like huge misconception about I don't know, like the relationships that they have in their life and what they should be doing to improve relationships that are dead. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, that is not your twin flame. That is not your soulmate the way that you believe what a soulmate should be. Like, there is not one person that
Your
is meant to.
soulmate and twin flame. Well, I think you're on the same page with twin
Yeah,
flame
it's,
because we are.
like just people just have this really big misconception. And I think that it came from people that wanted to monetize on all these ideas. And that's where it was born. And then just people just decided to roll with it and keep repeating these very like toxic ways of living, because it's not healthy for someone to be doing rituals and
If someone is running away from you consistently, they don't want to be with you. Like, like I mean, the thing about chasing, what blows my mind about chasing energy, anytime anything is chasing you, it's a repel. If there is desperation, need in the air, and you're like, but I need it. I mean, whether
Hmm.
it's money, love, anything, you think about it. It's an instant repellent, and it's sad in the aspects of when people truly need something, like a homeless person, but like you see someone in need, the gut reaction is to be like, whoa, hold on. And it's like, this
yes.
person really needs help. That is the same vibration, though, as when you are chasing someone or you're like, need you, you're my twin flame. So even if you believe in this twin flame nonsense, by doing that, you are repelling. You are not twin. This is not your twin flame. Your twin flame is not going to run from you guys. Okay. Like,
Hmm.
love is hard enough. We don't need to stay. All right. It's not hard enough. It can be difficult in today's day and age. We don't need to make this more difficult, you know,
Exactly.
by
Hmm.
chasing people. Please love me. That is a boner killer and a box froster. It ain't happening.
Yeah. Not a fan. I also think like the big thing with manifestation culture that's like raw frustrating for me is like the rejection of the way things exist at the moment. This like need to like only live in the imagined future that you want. Like, while it's great to funnel intention there and like let the universe know, like, hey, I got this idea of like where I'd like to move. If you're doing it to the detriment of like the current situation, like you could totally like that's where psychosis sets in. You're like quite literally not living in your actual reality at that point. That's where people are going to get really, really screwed up in their current life because you're rejecting the notion that
It's the
anything
denial of
is what it is.
reality. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, okay, I don't like where I'm at now. I have to acknowledge that. And then you
exactly.
know, like, but by being like, nope, I didn't just cut my leg off. It's like, well, you're going to bleed to death. Like,
Yeah, if you're always living in this like future that you want to create for yourself, then you're also not giving yourself any opportunity to be grateful for anything you currently have, which then why the hell would the universe give you anything else if you're already not grateful? So weird.
exactly. Not grateful and you don't know who you are. Gratitude is, and I feel like gratitude too has now gotten this bad rap, which not bad rap, but overplayed. And people are like, I don't want to have a gratitude practice. And I'm like, I, that's not,
So
that's a
important.
non-negotiable. Like you have got to have a gratitude practice, just even screw spirituality to be a decent human being. I mean, like that is like step one, how to be decent, have gratitude.
Mhm.
Yeah, but you know what? I feel like that's a true issue here in the States because in my
Ooh.
experience, I feel like here in the States, so many people are so entitled. Like the whole manifestation thing is the way it is. Why? Because everyone's trying to manifest being a freaking rock star, being a millionaire, having the latest model of a car. Like that's what people want to manifest for, having the love of my life, like all this stuff. And it's just like, that is so superficial. Like, that is not spirituality. Why are you trying to like tie in like this very ugly way of living? Like the things that you're seeing from like the Kardashians or like whoever, right? Like whoever famous
Mhm.
person out there, you're trying to be like them because that's your idea of happiness, but you don't realize like a lot of those people are not happy, number one,
Mm.
And
Mhm.
number two, you're literally rejecting like what Megan was talking about, like the whole gratitude thing, right? Because you're rejecting your reality and the things that you should be grateful for. Because here we have so much help, like we
Yeah.
have help from the government, right? Like there's so much free out there, like that we have free education, we have, even though it's crap, but I
No, I
mean,
know it's
it's
yeah.
free,
Well, and yeah, and there's a lot actually that like this is like such a random example, but there's so much that like people don't even like know to look for certain things where all I'm thinking is like that a friend is getting like their home renovated here in LA and found out that basically they're giving away like hella money for you to do certain types of renovations. So they're basically getting like some of their home renovated for free because it's like a
Whoa.
energy efficient renovation. I forget what it is exactly, but it's something like it's like who knew? Like, and nobody is claiming this stuff. And it's like there is a lot of stuff that sits there, but like it sucks. Like there's no like promotion for it or whatever. But yeah, we do have help. We've got resources and supports. Like we can be grateful for some level of
we
things.
can be simply be grateful that we have running water. Like, have we ever
Mm.
been without
Air.
running water? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we don't have a
Yeah.
well, in the back of our house where we need to get the water from and take it in the house and, warm it up or whatever. Like we have running water. There is so much to be grateful for. And I feel like people forget that. And that's something that is my daily practice. Like gratitude is my daily practice, despite of how much I have, don't have, whether I'm happy, unhappy, whatever. I feel that gratitude is something that you simply cannot, just like I mentioned, in the beginning of your journey, you should be meditating and you should be doing the stuff that you don't want to do. The gratitude is another component of getting to know yourself. And like I said, being genuine or figuring out who you are, because I know that I shared this with Ryan before. I feel like most people don't know who they are. They just know who they were told that this
Oh,
is who you
all
are, right?
day.
Like,
Yeah, by your
whoever
parents,
like
by
society told
society.
you, your
Mhm.
family, and then you just formulate an idea in your head that this is who I am, but you truly don't know who you are. Like a lot of people don't know how to answer that question. They just attach themselves to like, I'm an accountant, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a husband, like there's no like real raw, who are you as a person? Like there's no answers. It's always like, I make this much money, I drive this car, I do this for a living. It's very superficial, I feel.
And
Totally.
it's
It's like that like complaint people have brought up lately where it's like they hate the question of like, what do you do? Like when they meet you, it's like, why am I defined by what I do? How about like, who am I? you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm an
Like it's so
astronaut.
interesting. Yeah.
Yes.
I
Stay
feel like
off the
this,
wall shit.
have you always been someone who's like had a gratitude practice or even beyond that, it's like what I'm impressed with you for is many things, many things. But one of them truly is a like code of conduct or ethical standards that you just seem to naturally have, which I honestly think is rare because especially with someone who's sharing information the way you're sharing, which I have something to say about that as well, but I'll get to that. It's really cool. Um, but just like this like kind of student of life perspective and it's like you might learn something and then share it. Like I've literally seen videos of you where you've like read something in a book and then you literally will like read from that book, like just to make a video of it. It's like you just read that and like now you're sharing that information. It's a beautiful thing. But I feel like at the same time, you always carry some level of like ethics with it. And so I don't know if like a gratefulness practice that's been instilled in you is something that keeps you grounded in that. But like where did your sense of ethics come from? But like I feel like somebody who's green, we see people, unethical people all the time, and they're gonna not care about like they'll scam people out of their money, right? They'll do tarot
Yeah.
readings without
Yeah,
any
Ryan was saying that you'll be like, no twin flame, no health questions,
No
no,
legal, no witchcraft. Yes,
yeah,
like I
which I
feel that.
love.
Yeah, thank you. I feel that that comes from, I mean, I can use my chart here. I do have a stellium in Libra, right? And then I also have Neptune in the first house. So I genuinely care for people and I care to be fair, right? I
Mm,
grew up poor. I grew up poor.
mm,
We didn't have much. And even like in my teenage years, right? Like, parents divorced and my mom had to step it up and be the breadwinner. So I grew up very fast. I,
mm,
I was a 12-year-old mom to my sisters.
Yeah.
So I feel that all those experiences and everything that life has taught me, like becoming a mother at 18 years old, still wanting to go to school and trying to figure out how I was going to do that, being a mom, being responsible, having my own place, paying bills when I was just 18, and then having to work
Baby.
so hard, like for me to get to where I am today. I feel that because I know how hard that was for me, because I know how much I worked, blood, sweat, tears, etc. I feel that when I have something that is so precious to me, like human life, I have to take care of it, right? And I
mm,
have to treat everyone with respect. And I feel that the more that I'm grateful for all these things for my life, for the way that things played out for me, and the more that I'm able to portray that to others and feed life into people, right? The more that life continues to bless me. And I feel that I learned that very early on. Like I can't tell you an age, but I'm sure I was still a child when I learned this. So I just conducted myself in that way. Have I been a perfect human being? Hell to the motherfucking no.
ah,
Like I've done some crap, like when obviously I was
mhm.
younger. But
Does it come back? Because I was a wild motherfucker, and sometimes I'll get hit by something. I'm like, oh God, and then it's like like it's like all right, let the guilt and shame or whatever pass through, and like let me make some mental no, like let me say I'm sorry, like let me do
yeah,
it.
and that too. Like I've never been afraid to say I'm sorry. I've never been afraid to like express my emotions to people. And then I always put it on the other person. Like I am a person that you're gonna get a long ass text from, but I don't care because really like that's what I was meant. I meant it, like.
Ding ding, it's me again. Yeah, no, I'll double text you back to back. I don't care. Like
Yeah, I
I
don't
forgot
care because
this.
it makes
Yeah.
me feel better. Like I poured it out, and once it's on that
Mm,
other end, like it doesn't matter anymore, or not to
mhm.
me at least.
Yeah. Well, and the ability to say, I think people have gotten better at apologizing in the past few years, but there was a time where it was like, if I'm wrong, I have zero issues. I mean, I'm very opinionated. I have zero issues of being like, oh, I dropped the ball, my bad. And so I'm so glad that the tide has begun to turn with that because people would then sometimes fight me on that. And they're like, you can't be serious. You can't really be apologizing. And I'm like, are you fucking like you like what do you want me to take the apology back? Like
Right.
I don't know how to I don't know how to proceed here. So,
We
exit
can
stage
never
left.
please everyone. That's just the bottom line. Like we can never please everyone, or we're never gonna be liked for like by everyone. So I feel that that's a big thing too. Like we could apologize and they might be like that. I don't like your apology. You didn't apologize the right way.
Mm-hmm. Well,
So
your
it's like,
energy is very much like either people like love you or they don't. Like
yeah,
there's I don't see a like she's all right. You know, it's either like she's amazing or like I can't stand that bitch. You know, like
yeah,
like
yeah,
it's one of those two,
that's for sure.
which is good. You know, that because that means you're being authentic to you and your process. And so, and if it irritates somebody's soul, either they're not being authentic in their process or you're just not meant to line up, which is totally okay.
Yeah, and I feel like that's another thing that a lot of people just care too much to be liked. You know, they care too
Yes,
much to be
damn.
liked, especially
So
because
true.
they want followers and they want likes and they want
Mhm.
this. But I feel that when you're a grown up and you truly like evolve into like the grown up that you're supposed to be, like you shouldn't care whether people like you or not. You know, like especially right now with like social media and like follower count and you're like determined like how good you are, it's determined by your follower count or whatever. I'm like, if everyone liked me, I would be concerned if
Mhm.
everyone liked me, you know, because
Yeah.
it's like,
You need to have
how, you
some
know,
enemies.
why? Like, it
Yeah,
just
you
doesn't
need to
make
have some
sense.
formidable opponents. Okay. Like people should really not like you. Like if you don't have some enemies in life or people who don't like you, you've been doing it wrong. You
Yeah.
know, like now
You're
do you
trying to
want a whole
people please.
score? You know, but do you want a few people who are like, fuck that motherfucker?
I just think it means you're not making an impact on life, like you're quite literally not thrusting yourself into life. You're just like this like jelly figure doing nothing, causing no harm. So of course everybody like thinks neutrally at minimum of you at that point, but like if you're going to do anything with your life, you're naturally like inserting yourself into life, which inherently is causing friction of energy, which inherently is going to rub somebody the wrong
We
way.
just you said jelly figure, which is just I
I mean,
like
you know what I mean, though?
I
It's
know, but
like
it's like jelly. I'm like, ew, you're don't be a jelly. But then I went to jellyfish because a jelly figure could be a jellyfish, and
a
with no
jelly.
purpose, you sting people and hurt them. So
Mm,
Yeah.
true.
you're such a jelly. Don't be a jelly figure.
Yeah, don't be a jelly figure. On how not to be a jelly figure with Karina Alonso. I'm like writing down as many like titles. I'm just kidding. Um, I want to talk about your solo travel because this is cool. You've got a playlist on your TikTok and you recently did a fun trip. I forget where all you went. You went Egypt, Turkey, and where else?
And Georgia, the country of
Georgia.
Georgia. Everyone
Yeah.
Oh.
confuses Georgia with
I wish it
the
was the state.
state. You
I
know?
went to Egypt and Turkey and the state of Georgia.
Headed down to ATL, flew out of Atlanta Airport. Gonna put that on your list.
God.
Everyone kept asking me, is that the only way to get to Egypt through Georgia? I'm like, what? You know?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Wow. Good God. America, we need to get it together. Seriously. This is a problem. But again, love it. Like as that sun in the ninth house of long distance travel, unfamiliar territory, you got to insert yourself into culture shock, foreign lands. You grow as a Leo. It rules authenticity. Like you literally become more of yourself when you're in these spaces.
What was Georgia like?
It's beautiful. So it's between Russia and Armenia. And it's such a small place, but it's such a beautiful place, like full of history and just amazing food. And the people are so nice. So I love small towns. Like it reminds me kind of like a smaller London. You know, like everything is just close, walking distance. You can literally go anywhere. People are kind. Like it looks kind of like LA in a sense where there's like a lot of graffiti and stuff like that, but it's not like there's no crime like there is here, you know?
Like historical graffiti.
Yeah.
It's historical graffiti. There's a lot of music, like there's a lot of jazz bars and things
Ooh.
like that. A lot of musicians out in the streets, like singing, playing their instruments. Like it's just such a cute town. And that's everything that I love. Like I love places that where you can walk everywhere, you can grab your coffee at like the corner little shop, mom and pop, and everyone greets you and everything's just happy, like I love that. I love when I go on vacation to make connections with people that are very down to earth And every single place that I have visited, I feel like I've made an impact in somebody's life and they've made one in mine.
Yay.
So ever since I started solo traveling, which it hasn't been that long, it's been like 3 years, it has been amazing. Honestly, like it's hard for me to take trips with family or with people now because
I'm
I'm so
cramping my
used
vibe.
to.
Mama's gonna
Yeah.
fly.
I'm like, no, you guys are killing it. I need my
Yeah.
alone time. You know, like, can you guys
Yeah.
leave?
Yeah.
Yeah. Leo's gonna want it the way it wants it. In the ninth house, you got to make that itinerary. It's all eyes on you for sure. What's like something you've gained on this recent trip? Or do you have any good like story, or how have you spiritually grown through this?
Honestly, I do feel that every place I visit, I gain perspective mostly, right? And like I mentioned earlier, like I make that comparison to like our culture here in the
Mm,
States. And obviously, I am Mexican, so I have that cultural background. But visiting those places helps continue to keep my ass humble, right? Because
mm,
I'm meeting with people that have like not even a fraction of what we have here, and they're happy, and you question, why are you happy? Like you're not over there like chasing
yeah.
the last Tesla model car that just came out or trying to become whatever, right? An influencer. Like you're just here living life, enjoying. Like you're not going to a 9 to 5. How? Like why do you have so much free time? And it's because they just live different. You know, they're
Hmm.
okay with not having a lot. They're grateful. You know, they're grateful, and they're
Yeah.
grateful on a daily basis. And like especially the people in Egypt, they made such an impact in my life. Like I was there for 3 days. In 3 days, I made friends. They gave me gifts, and I'm like, I'm supposed to
Aw.
give you guys tips and gifts, you know, or whatever.
Ah,
They bought me stuff, so I was just like, wow, like the generosity and the kindness, like that comes from these complete strangers. Like I don't even get that shit at home, like with my
Yeah.
neighbors, or you know what I'm saying? Like you
yeah.
don't even get
Yeah.
that with the people that you interact with a lot, you know? And it's like getting that there, I feel like it just helps open me up. It
Hmm.
like I feel like everywhere I go, like something opens up somehow. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like it helps me be a better human being overall, you know, but it also helps me be a better reader. Because
Mm,
now when I'm reading for a client, I have so many different perspectives to look at your situation from. It's not just my perspective, and it's not just the spiritual messages I'm getting, but now I have gained perspective in so many, like I said, like so many different ways that I'm able to help you with your problem or guide you with your problem. And I feel a more efficient and better way that's more suitable for you.
mm, hmm. Do you have like advice for people who are experiencing other cultures or belief systems, traditions that differ from their own, and how they can allow it to impact them?
I feel like we should always be open-minded, of course, you know, but we should be respectful. And I feel like that's a thing that a lot of people lack. They feel like their opinion matters, like them telling someone else, well, I disagree with your religion, blah, 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 blah. Like that's going to make a difference to them. No, that's their belief, you know? So like for me, when like going back to Egypt or even like Georgia, because they're Orthodox Christian, right? So it's a little different than here where we have everything, but you know, like there's more Catholics here and like the other kind of Christian, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like meeting these people that have like those beliefs. Like, I'm not gonna go up to them and be like, well, I don't believe in your religion. And did you hear about blah, blah, blah? Like, whatever stuff I know about it that's negative. Like, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see everyone as a human. Like, you're just a human. You're just a
Mm,
human, and you have your beliefs that have helped you in some way. And if it helps you to be Catholic, if it helps you to be Christian, if it helps you to be Muslim, more fucking power to you. And if I'm interested in what it is that you believe in, I'm going to go read a little bit about it so that I can get acquainted with that information rather than judge you from a perspective that I don't know anything about. You
hmm.
know, if I'm
Yeah.
not Muslim, then I can't talk about them because I'm not there and I haven't experienced what they experience. And in my opinion, a lot of people that are very religious, like they have a lot of faith. And I'm like, that's why they're happier sometimes, you know, because of the blind faith that a lot of us kind of talk down on, you know. And it's like I just don't see life that way. I don't see life as putting people down and just because they're different from me, I'm gonna treat them different or feeling better than or less than anyone. I try to see everyone as an equal. I feel like we're just wearing this suit of conditioning of like whatever it is that we want to take part in, right? And it's just an act. Like we're just playing our part in this life. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not um no one's right or wrong, like everyone is just doing what they know to do. And even the people that we see as crappy, right? Like the narcissist and like all this stuff, right? Like even them, they're playing a role and they're playing a part and they're helping people, whether you want to see it that way or not. That's the way
Mm-hmm.
that I guess that I've approached people with different cultural backgrounds.
Well, I think that's why you get accepted everywhere you go, or people, because once
Yeah.
again, you get authenticity is a vibe. If you're not, so it doesn't matter. There can be a cult, there can be a language barrier. You can come from the opposite ends of the earth, but if you come with a, respectful, authentic vibe of wanting to connect, that's going to get you into places. You're going to be able to meet, like I keep messing these words up. I keep saying shaking babies and like, but it's like shaking hands and kissing babies. No, like we don't, do not go to a foreign land and shake the babies and kiss them.
My God.
That is how you would get kicked out of certain countries. But yeah, it's your, like it's you, it's how you conduct yourself and people can feel that.
Feel
They
that
do. I
shit.
honestly, and I'm not even gonna front with this. Like the people in Turkey and in Egypt and even Georgia, right? It's like they just have a different vibe. Those people are just, they're built different. Like they are so connected to their land, and that land has a different energy for sure than here. Like there's so much like sacred history there. And being a psychic, right? Like I never thought that I would feel how I felt when I was there, like in those sacred grounds, like the way that I would look into these people's eyes and there was just purity in there, like
Mhm.
pure love, connection, happiness, just all of the things. And I was just like, wow, I know I wrote about this and I felt like they were a mirror to me. Like people that I was meeting were a mirror to me, and I loved what I saw. And I don't want to get emotional, but I really like I got to see myself the way they saw me. And I was like, fuck, I'm beautiful. And I'm not talking about looks, but
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
am kind of, I'm good
Hell yeah.
looking. But I mean,
Yes.
I was like, I was like, I'm so beautiful. Like, I never realized, like, I'm a beautiful fucking human. Like, what
Yeah.
the hell, And I mean, I'm a crybaby. I cry for everything. So I was crying like every other night. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm so grateful to be here.
Uh-huh.
Because I feel like you don't get to see who you are unless you are making connections. I feel like a lot of people misconstrued healing and they're like locked up in their room and like, oh, I'm healing. And I'm like, no, you ain't doing shit. You're
No,
you're
you're
like
Yeah.
literally
hermiting.
you put
Yeah.
yourself away. That's not healing. You need to go out and experience life. Let life kick you down a few times. And then you'll be able to learn like how to come out better. Like uh, relationships, right? Like people are afraid of that. And it's like, why are you afraid to be in a relationship? It's literally like
Oh my God.
the most normal thing that anybody can experience. And that's
Love.
why we're here,
You're
you know?
rejecting love. Yeah, the struggle is where you meet yourself. Like,
Exactly.
and then good
Yeah.
times are like nice little like peaceful times are where you get to like, oh, look, I get to enjoy the work that I just
Yeah.
did. And then you're gonna get shoved through a fucking meat grinder again. And then, and
Exactly.
this is just the process. And so by thinking it's not supposed to be easy, people, you did not come to Earth to get an easy ride. You came here to get in the dirt, like, and if you've had an easy existence so far, bless it, but it's coming. You don't get out of
Exactly.
this, like if your soul isn't tattered with like some wounds, like you're coming back because you did it wrong. you know?
You're coming back because you stayed in your room healing.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's
Like
crazy.
I'm all like, and people, like have your alone time. Like, but so I do think, yeah, so many people misconstrue like self-work for like I'm just gonna hide away from the world. I'm not gonna be in a relationship. I'm not gonna do I am me and for me only and like hyper independence mode sets in, right? And it's like you're not actually growing at all. Like you literally need anything outside of yourself to show you who you are. So important. So
But we live
important.
and we learn, like sometimes
Hmm.
we think that's the answer. Because, yeah,
Hmm.
we do need our alone time. We do need like those times to like self reflect and
Hmm.
like check ourselves and like look at ourselves in the mirror and be like, look, bitch, I fucking, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but
I
if,
did it.
but I mean, we can't stay there. We can't stay there indefinitely because it feels so cozy and comfortable with all your fucking walls up. Like you're supposed to allow yourself to go out there. And if you don't give it a shot, then you're never gonna find that happiness that you're looking for, because
Mhm.
it's just, you're just not open to it. And then it's like, I guess I see it so much because I am a reader and I get so many clients and I see this issue come up where it's like, I'm healing, I'm healing, I'm healing. And it's like, all right, well, you keep asking about love,
Yeah, speed
like,
it along. Get
you know?
outside while you're healing because you have to face your mortality. And that the tattoo I just got is a representation of that. You've got to face your mortality. If you don't, like today we are closer, everyone listening to this, you are one day closer to dying. And if that scares you, good. Then go out and do something. Like feel alive. People get they get that it's part of their label now, like I'm healing. It's like, from what? God,
Yes.
like you're going to spend your whole life healing. So get out and do things. Go get heartbroken again. Go stub your toe. Get dirty.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I see it that way as well. And I'm just like, honestly, like there are so many people that like, unfortunately, their life is cut short, right? And it's like, what if they were fucking stuck in their room for 5 years healing, waiting for the love of their life to show up at their doorstep and now they're gone? Like, do you see that? And I feel like it's such a weird concept, or not concept, but like I feel like here a lot of people don't see like death as something that is going to happen to all of us. I think that they associate it to like old age. Like, oh, you're gonna be 100 and then you're gonna die. And it's like, no, you could die
It is a
tomorrow. Do you
privilege. If you live to 100, that is a privilege all day.
exactly.
Like each day you have is a privilege. And so you're allowed to have a bad day. But even before we hopped on, I was talking with my brother and your words have power. So he said I was about to start talking shit. And I was like, I am just experiencing a challenging time right now.
Ah.
Like, because we can get through challenges. Currently just experiencing discomfort. It shall. He was like, "What are you doing, weirdo?" I was like,
No, but it's okay, like,
yeah,
and I tell this to people all the time. I'm like, you're not going to be happy all the time. You're
no,
not going to be sad all the time either. Like, you're a human being. Your emotions are going to fluctuate. You're going to be mad one day. Allow yourself those emotions. It's okay to be mad. Scream. Like, do
yeah.
whatever. Just don't fucking, like, don't go online and start talking shit. But, like, just do that stuff and take a
Mhm.
day. And then you'll feel better the next day, or let yourself cry all day. Let yourself have a pity party, but
Yeah,
the next day you get up and
exactly.
it's a
Time
new day,
limit.
you
Time
know?
limit. Have
Exactly. Put
my
a time
perceived
limit on
yes.
your little whatever it is that you're
Yes.
doing.
Time out. Yeah. Then okay, I'm sad. I had like this morning, I was sad. I was feeling a lot. I video diaried it out. I was like, well, it's been a minute. Let me post this. And then I was like, well, no use crying over spilled milk. We got things to
Yeah.
do.
I do that all the time. Like there are times that I have like so many emotions and it could be anything, right? And I'll like record myself whether I'm crying or I'm so happy, I'm so grateful, whatever, right? And I feel like society is who tells us that that's not okay, right?
Mhm.
Like for me, I'm telling you, I come from very humble beginnings. So me having the life that I have now, I want to share it with people. I'm like, look,
Mhm.
this is possible. And
Yeah.
I feel like people take it, oh, you're showing off, you're just a show off. And it's like, why does everything have to be negative? Or you're crying, oh my gosh, and I'm like, I'm
Someone
fine.
else has it worse. Someone else.
But it's like, yes, someone always does have it worse. And I am grateful for my problems, but I'm allowed to feel this.
Exactly. Yeah. We're allowed to feel however, like we're human beings. And I feel like people just need to, I don't know, just like give more grace, to others. I feel like that's not like that's not promoted enough. They promote all this other crap, like promote people to be more gracious and to, just be a
Well,
little
it's 'cause
compassionate.
they didn't get great. They're not giving themselves grace. So it's hard if
That's true.
if you're not giving yourself grace, it's not fathomable for someone else well, I didn't get it. Well, if you didn't get it, that's exactly why you should give it, because most
Exactly.
people are kind. And that's this rhetoric that you get where it's like,
No, you got most people. They get the opportunity to fuck you. They will.
and it's like, well, your life, that is not my life. My life, people are wonderful and happy and caring and, loving. And yeah, there's a shitbag every now and then, but I've met very few, thank you, and let's keep it this way, truly evil people, and they have a purpose too, but please keep your evilness away from me. Go back and see your dad, Satan. Thanks, bye. So, don't talk to me anymore. But it's your perspective is just so refreshing,
Mhm.
because in a land of people who honestly look like Ryan and I, who have culturally appropriated and have taken sacred texts and bastardized them for the sake of a 2-minute video on TikTok, to see someone like you just roaming around, so to speak, authentically being yourself and making connections. Yeah, that's what life's about. It didn't get better than that.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Or like the only way it gets better than that is if you buy yourself a like really fancy bag too, which now brings me to I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this, yes, bitch, because you came back from your travels and you like showed off this beautiful bag that you got. And like I'm not even somebody like I don't even care about designer stuff. But again, it was the authenticity of you showing it off. And sure, Leo can come off as like
I was
maybe a
about to
braggy
say,
sign,
Leah's gonna be
but
like, look at
yeah. No,
yeah.
but you've got the Taurus moon too, which grounds it. And like that's what unites Leo and Taurus, like that I always talk about, at least, is like that both of them like have a right in this to like a great material existence. Like they deserve to get what they want in life, like money wise, designer bags, you name it. So I want to like ask your experience with that, I guess, like because it can be a problem in the spiritual space. Like it's no wonder that like people in the spiritual community tend to like have no money. You know what I mean? Like it's a normal
Yeah.
fucking thing. Like there's this almost like desire that like to grow spiritually, you must abandon earthly concerns at all
Yes.
costs. Like, but you don't. And how can you help people discuss that? I guess like how do you traverse spiritual commercialism even, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I feel that it goes back to authenticity, right? Like, this is who I am, and I like nice things, and I can afford nice things. And I'm not taking away from my family buying these nice things. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not hurting
Mhm.
myself buying these nice things. And it's
Mhm.
something that if I like it, um, I'm buying it for me, like,
Mhm.
because,
Mhm.
it's what it is. But I feel that when I first when I first went to TikTok, right? I feel like that was a big thing. Everyone was quitting their jobs. Everyone was
Yeah.
trying to go live off grid somewhere in the
Yeah.
woods. And, the universe will provide and the universe will provide type of BS, right? But it's like the whole time, it's like they were scamming people and they were
Yeah.
like not paying their bills and not paying, oh, because I don't want to contribute to whatever, right? But I'm like, you do know
Capitalism.
that there's a process, right? Like, let's say we own an apartment building, and we're just trying to work, and this is our apartment building. And if people miss their payments, that's going to hurt our pockets.
Mhm.
And I don't understand the concept of them saying, well, I'm just not going to pay my rent because the universe will provide. But what about us? You know what I'm saying? Like, what about the people
Yeah, it's
that are
harming
having
someone
to make
else.
you know what I'm saying? It's like they were trying to do something that sounded good because you're taking advantage of people, right? And then you will look at people like me that drives a Tesla, that has a nice little house, that has
Mhm.
these nice things, say, oh, she's not spiritual. She cannot be spiritual, right? And it's like, no, like it's the opposite. Like, spirituality is not something that it's not a badge. It's not a badge of honor. Like, it's just a way of
Right.
living. You know what I'm saying? It's living with intention. We are already spiritual, every single one of us. Like, everyone has had some kind of spiritual experience in their life. Like, we are already that, but now use it to your advantage, right? Like in a sense where it's like you set intentions and you do, like I said, your journaling and your meditation and like these practices that help you be a better you. It's not necessarily because you're going to attain all these things or you're going to get $1 million check in the mail because the universe provides, like that's very an unrealistic way of living. And I feel that for me, I've always been realistic, and I can't hide those parts of myself and be like, oh, I'm an open book and I'm so open with all these parts of my life, but then hide that. You know what I'm
Girl,
saying?
get
Be
the
like,
bag. You know what? Give me a break. If you want to get yourself a nice bag, you work hard. And if anyone has a problem, fuck right off.
I feel like the people that have a problem, it's jealousy. It's because they haven't figured out the way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm trying to teach you the way for free.
Yeah. Get off your, stop complaining and stop talking shit and put your ass to work. And then, the action is like the missing component here.
Yes,
with everyone.
definitely.
It's like you want to win you want $1 million. The only way your ass is going to get it from sitting at home is if your house gets struck by a bus or a plane when you play the lottery.
Right.
But even playing the lottery requires you going to the corner store to get a freaking ticket.
Exactly.
Yes.
Or it's like what Jim Carrey had that story of like putting $1 million, he wrote himself $1 million check, I think, from the universe and put it in his wallet. But he didn't just sit there. He went and worked.
Yeah, he got
and he got it.
rejected.
Yeah. Like, damn.
Like he put in the work, and that's what
He
a
didn't
lot
go
of
to the
people
bank
don't.
and be like, I'd like to cash this, please. Like, the Lord wrote me this check, and the funds are good. Don't worry.
I'm owed this.
I mean, like, what the fuck?
And that's the thing too. Like another thing is, and I know that obviously you're an astrologer, right? And I know that in astrology, right? Like your natal chart, it has like your promise is there, right? So if your natal chart does not say that you're going to be a freaking rich ass person, then you're not going to be a rich person. I feel like everyone is trying to be what the most popular thing is. You know what I'm saying? And that's what everyone, and I'm like, how can everybody be the same? Like, even with the whole, social media stuff, everyone wants to be a reader. Everyone wants to be an astrologer. And it's like, not everybody gets to be these things.
No.
You need to learn about yourself so you can learn what you like and what you're meant to be doing. And you're not going to find that following a step-by-step program. You're not going to find that copying the person that like Jim Carrey. You're not gonna find, $1 million just because you do exactly what he did, like write the check and post it on the wall. Like that's not gonna happen. Like everyone has their own process, and I feel like people need to start embracing their own individual path more, and then work on that. Focus on yourself. Stop focusing on what everybody else is doing and focus on the things that you truly love and embrace that part. You are already spiritual. You don't need to learn to be spiritual.
And it doesn't matter how like mundane it is. Like it could, if you enjoy throwing a rock, then be the best, collect all the rocks in your land and be the greatest rock thrower. And something, I don't know what, and I don't know how, but something will happen for you.
Yeah.
Period.
Dude,
exactly.
There's a reason, like, so many like quote unquote famous people, luminaries, whatever, perceived successful people in life get asked like in interviews, like, what advice do you have for other people who are trying to make it or whatever? And they always say, it sounds cliche, but be yourself.
Be yourself.
Like be your fucking self, which means inherently, I forget what there's some like theory of disruption and innovation or whatever, which is like in order to innovate or disrupt, to stand out, essentially, you can admire like a Steve Jobs or a whoever, but you cannot learn from them because once they've done it, immediately their path forward, their book that they're writing is old news. Like it's not your path, So interesting, but it is
you
hard
can get
to like
inspired. I love a hardworking story. I love, I do believe in the value of hard work. I just got in a debate yesterday with someone. They're like, well, I don't want to work hard. And that's a belief system that you have. And I was like, you're going to stay mediocre. And that's totally fine. She got real pissed. I was like, and there's nothing, because here's the thing, guys. We need losers. Okay. We need people who aren't going to do a damn thing.
I'm
We
dead,
need
actually,
people
yeah.
who are just going to sit on their ass and talk shit, and they're just going to sit there. And you don't be the best motherfucking loser out there. There are going to be people like me and like everyone on this podcast who's going to be hustling. But we, like, so if that's the path that you want to take, be the best loser. But you know what? Like, hard work is part of the process. Okay. You don't, like, you're not, and I was like, you're not a kept woman. You're not, you're a beautiful person, but like
And
this
you know
is
what?
hard.
That connects with everything. Like, I know you work out, Megan, because girl, I see it. So, like, let's take it back to that, right? Like, when people are like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to lose weight and I don't know how to lose weight. And you're like, oh, buy this pill and you'll lose 30 pounds. They'll buy it. They're like, yes, because I don't want to work for it. I want to just take the pill, or I want to just go get the lipo, right? And I have nothing against whatever
I love
people
a good
want to
nip
do.
and
Do
tuck.
you?
Okay. I love a little maintenance here and there.
Yeah,
But
I'm like, do you, but at the end of the day, if you truly want ultimate results, if you really want to be healthy, if it takes work, and it takes the work that you don't want to do, like you have to get uncomfortable. There's this like, misconception about comfort. Like everything should be comfortable and happy and it feels good. No, you're supposed to be uncomfortable. If you're not uncomfortable, then you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
there's
It's
nothing
supposed to
sexier
hurt.
too than like dedication. When I see someone like hustling, I don't care how you identify. I don't care if you're a potato. You could be the world's ugliest man, woman, they, whatever. But there is nothing more sexy when someone is like, I'm going for it. Like that gives my genitals a jolt.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like
does.
that's just like that's the common denominator for anybody who feels like they've found success is like obviously work is involved. I think the spiritual side of it is the interesting like the intention that you add to it, the supplement of having that like folded up, check from the universe in your pocket, or people who work with crystals, like you're channeling the desire so strongly into a focused area, but it has to be coupled, supported by action in the physical world, right?
Exactly.
Must. Um, yes. Uh, would you have any like advice for people too? This wasn't like exactly something I was thinking about asking, but I feel like you'd be an interesting person to ask this to. Do you have advice for people? Especially like online. I feel like that's just how people are finding spiritual practitioners that they want to like hire, like who do I get a reading with? What advice do you have for people? Like, how do they traverse this crazy ass fucking world?
I feel like the best advice that I can give anyone is take everything with a grain of salt and do the work. Like, do your research about people, right? If you see someone online, ask questions. Even if you see me online and you see my video, watch my video, see if you even like me, see if you even vibe with me. Because if you don't vibe with me and you don't like me, but your friend tells you that I'm a very good reader and you want to get a reading because your friend said that I told her whatever I told her, it's not going to be the same for you. You're not going to have the same experience because you don't like me. So find someone that you actually feel a connection with, through their videos or through looking at their reviews, look at their comment section, whatever. Do your freaking research. I feel like nowadays people just, it doesn't matter who it is. They go into everyone's lives. Is my ex coming back? Is my husband, and it's like,
No,
dude, like
they're not. They're gone. You need who are you?
I'm just like, are you kidding me? You're like, oh, you're literally, I don't know why people complain about spiritual attacks and attachments and blah, blah, blah. Like, you're like the embodiment of that when you're just going around to different readers, opening up that space, right? Like that spiritual space that we all have. Like, tell me something. And you're so desperate that the wrong person is going to take you and take all your money.
All day.
The wrong
all
person is
day.
gonna be like, oh yes, and I can make them come back and just buy this candle. It's $100, and we're gonna do it all live, and everybody's gonna put all their energy towards the
And then
candle
when
for
it
your ex
doesn't
to
work,
text you.
you did it wrong. You didn't burn the frog foot like you should
You
have.
didn't follow
Mhm.
instructions. You did not breathe every 2 seconds, like I told you. So
You didn't
that's why
believe
he
it.
didn't
You
come back.
didn't believe it. You
Yeah,
didn't
you
believe
didn't
it.
believe, you didn't set it's your fault. And it's like that is so messed up. And that is the stuff that I know. I talk a lot of crap about that because I feel so strongly about that. And I keep telling people, like, do your research, please. Like, take things with a grain of salt, especially all these general readings that you see out there, whether it's, tarot, astrology, whatever, like all the general stuff. Don't take it like as truth, or don't make it your truth, because you have power, and you're setting your intention to be whatever they're saying, and you're just going to screw yourself up that way. Like, you have to get to know yourself. Like, I feel like you can't get away from that, because the more that you're naive and just believing all types of stuff that doesn't even make any logical sense, like that's another thing, like make it make sense. Like, ask your friends, I don't know, like ask people that are gonna ground you and be like, you're tripping, dude. Like, that makes no
Mhm.
freaking
Mhm.
sense, in real life. I feel like spirituality has become something that's very like fantasy like, like they think magic, it's like it's fantasy. It's like somehow you
Yes.
have a special power and I'm like, no, like I'm literally just a human, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
just like you, and so like just like everybody else, so yeah, do your research, discernment is so important, and I feel like a lot of people lack that.
Damn, that's
That's
so
so many
true.
good. Like, yeah, where did you, what classes did you take? Where did you get educated? And then it's so funny that you said about liking someone, because I'm intense. Yeah, if you don't like me, then it's not gonna work. And I just had one of my clients, she wanted to take a certain class from a practitioner, but she was like, I can't stand her. And I was like, then why would you pay money? Why would
Yeah.
you pay and not only that, it's a 5-day class, and you're there for 12 hours. That's a lot of hours and a lot of money to spend with someone that you don't like. That's in like, make it make sense. She was like, yeah, you're right. She's like, but what if it was a lesson? And I was like, the lesson
uh,
is that you need to get a practitioner and be with someone that you enjoy and that you also respect. If you don't respect your teachers or your healers or whoever, your life coach, intuitives, whoever you're working with, that's not going to work either.
Yeah. And you know what? I know and understand that a lot of people come from like all kinds of different walks of life. But at the same time, I kind of feel like some people are so like, they want to learn something so bad. And it's like, why do you need to know that? Like, if it's something that is going to cost you so much money and you have to, for some reason, take this person's class or whatever, like, why do you feel that you need that? Like, that's what I want to understand.
Mhm.
Why do you feel that you need to learn from that particular person and pay all that money when there are resources to learn all this shit yourself? And it's free, like I said, to get to know your own energy. That's free. No one's going to teach you that. No one can teach you how to meditate, because you're going to meditate how you meditate. You're not going to meditate how a guru out there meditates, right? Like,
Sure.
you're not going to sit there quietly for 10 hours. Like, you're
Right.
going to find a way that works for you. And it's different for all of us. Like, not everyone is quietly sitting in a room meditating. Like, we can meditate working out. We can meditate cleaning our house. We can meditate driving. Like, there are so many different ways, but I feel like people just have this, because spirituality is not something that is so common, like it's not something that we saw like at school,
Right.
or places like that. I feel like because there's so much, like it's so like in the dark, I guess, and it's just coming to light so much after 2020, that there's not a lot of information. But I am very like impressed by people that don't know how to use Google. I am
No,
like, that's available for all of us. You know
it's
that it's free.
insane.
Yeah.
No, it's straight up insane.
I am so impressed with you that you don't
I
know how to use Google. I will be putting that in my pocket. People ask me stuff and I'm like, who knows this? Dr. Google. Why the fuck would I know
Mhm.
this? Why the fuck
Well,
would I know this?
and there's a difference, like, yeah, and I'm like a big proponent of self-study. I think it's like such a lost thing. Like, once you finish school, like, why are you not continuing to learn? Self-study is such a discipline that should be continued, like in many cases, at least I think. But I will say, like, too, like that can only take you so far. And I know, like, Megan and I were lucky to each have like a mentor, in what we were doing. But like, even that, a mentor also can actually hinder you in many ways. But like, they can also only take you so far. And like, if you're looking for a teacher or a mentor or a guide and you do want somebody like kind of hold your hand, like, often you're going to need to pay money for someone. It's like rare to find like a true good free apprenticeship anymore. But like, also, you need to make sure that that person's actually enabling you to be different. Because, like you said, you're
Exactly.
not
No, I
going
agree.
to meditate the same way that your mentor meditates. They should see that difference in you and like what works for you. It's sort of like learning styles. Go back to our May astrology forecast where we talked about the multiple intelligences and like click the link in the show notes there. Check out your intelligences with Jupiter going into Gemini. Like, there really is such an ability to like capitalize on like how do you learn best and figure that out right now. And you'll learn so much over the next year, I think.
Definitely. That is important. And I feel that for me, like, yes, I've done a ton of self-study, but I've also had mentors, but
Mhm.
I feel like I cut my mentors out when I felt like they were no longer useful to me. You know what I'm saying? And not in a negative way. It was just like, you can only take me so far, and it's been great. And this is where, like, I don't need you anymore. And I take classes and like different, I go to Kepler College. Like, I just take different classes with different, professors,
Mhm.
mentors or whatever. And I just see what works for me. And I understand, like, not everyone is like me. Not everyone enjoys to read. Not everyone, like, everyone is different and everyone learns different. But the
Yeah.
one thing I can say, it's never make someone or never put people up on a pedestal, because that's how
Mhm.
you get messed up. Never like think that your mentor knows everything, or that your mentor is going to, make you the best of whatever, because they are not. Like, you are. You're doing the work. You're putting in the work. You're putting in the effort. It's not them doing it. They're there to serve their purpose, right? As any teacher, professor out there, they're giving you the base information, and then it's up to you to build. It's not, they're not going to build for you. And I feel like sometimes people become dependent of like their mentors, and that's when the mentor can be human, right? And take
Mhm.
advantage of the person. So it's important to also do your research about the person. Like, how do they live? Like, do they have tendencies of taking advantage of people, like things like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's important, and that has helped
Yeah.
me along my journey, like to know when it's over, like.
And also, like, are they continuing? Are your teachers and mentors continuing their education?
Exactly,
Because
yeah,
Right.
so
that's
many
important too.
people will stop, and it's like you can never. Anytime that someone's like, "Oh, I learned that lesson," or like, I've been a Reiki master for years. It's such a weird term because master is like, like that denotes that like you and I am very proficient in it, but there's still stuff I'm constantly learning. There's still stuff. And so if you have someone, if the ego is taken over, yeah, you got to roll. There's so much you can
Yeah.
learn too from people on what not to do.
Well, and I
Yeah,
think like in my experience too, like if you're holding on too tight to like a mentor or whatever, a role model, a teacher, like they end up leaving you. Like, so if you're too dependent, like then you're going to have that experience of like feeling let down by a mentor because they've moved or they've taken on some other thing, like genuinely. I remember like my astrologer, basically kind of like stopped doing astrology for a while. He's like back at it now, but he like took on a whole new business and it literally was like, okay, leash cut. Like I had nothing else to do but study on my own. So I was like grateful for the time I had, but I'm like, damn, like people could really be like, I didn't feel ready for it to end, But like a mentor is not supposed to be with you for life. It's just not that way.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. No, I
I,
agree.
I want to say something I found about you because I remember like when we were talking before, I was like, I think of you as someone who teaches what they're learning. And I was like, I know that's like a phrase or something. Like I've always heard that. And so I looked it up and lo and behold, get fucking this, dude. So teaching what you learn is like the best way to retain information, first of all. So I love that you naturally do it. It's like, oh, I just learned this today. So by then sharing that information with someone else, you're cementing it in you, love, but also like learning by teaching others. It's something called the protege effect. I fucking love this.
Mm.
The definition of a protege is a person who is guided and supported by an older or more experienced or influential person. So I love that you said like that you even have this relationship with teachers, that you're willing to go sign up for classes, that even a book can be a teacher, right? But also other people
Mhm.
can be a teacher. And proteges like is such a Virgo thing. So go figure, you got your Mercury, planet of learning, in Virgo.
Yes.
Virgos are that, like Gemini's a student too, like Mercury rules both, but Virgo's the protege. It's more like active and skilled and focused and literally working with a teacher. Gemini's just going to learn whatever the fuck it wants to and whatever flies in its face. Not nearly as I think focused as you can be. So I just think it's really interesting. I would like for you, I feel
That
like
is so
if you feel into that,
interesting.
maybe look into the protege effect a little bit,
Yes,
because I feel
yes,
like you're like doing
definitely.
it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Um, okay, well, before we like close out, like as per tradition, which actually I don't know that it's tradition. I think we like forget to do this question a lot. What are your annoyances? We've already kind of talked about some for damn sure, but like, do you have any clear annoyances about spirituality or anything?
So many, but I would like to say the one thing that I know that I've even repeated so many times in my videos, it's terms, the terminology that we use in the spiritual community, because I know that we need these terms to make sense of what we're trying to convey, what message it is. But I just hate the terms. I'm just like, oh my gosh, why does everything have to be a connection? And the whole twin flame and the whole soulmate and the whole karmic and the whole, you're gonna get your
Timelines.
karma and like all that stuff. I'm just like, why? Why do we do this, guys? Like,
Yeah.
can we just like first learn what this shit means? Or,
Yeah.
like, and then you can talk about it. But I feel that it gets thrown around so much that it just annoys me to hear people talking about it, even though like I could chime into the conversation. Like, yes, I can get involved because I understand this stuff, but just hearing people that don't know anything about it talk about it, or like even like when I've gotten comments under my videos, right? And I kind of get a sense of like the person that's commenting, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, they don't know anything. And they're like, like they're putting those
Yeah.
words out there. Oh,
Actually,
like it
yeah.
sounds like a narcissistic, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh God, why? Like,
I know.
not everyone
Especially
is a narcissist.
no. That's like also I think like a little bit of mental health and therapy, like that field coming into the picture too. Like a lot of people learned like about narcissism and gaslighting and like some of those.
Yes, yes. All those terms, the gaslighting, the narcissism, the different attachment styles, the this, the that. And it's like, oh my gosh, can we just all like reel it back?
No, and like those things also lose like their power, like when you're overusing it too much, like, and I just like applying that a word blanketly to any kind of experience
Someone
too
was
much.
mean to you. They're not a narcissist. Okay. Someone, like that happens, like if it does that. True narcissism is you're going to take a minute. You're going to need to recover from, you're not going to hop on. It's trendy. And people are like, done this sounds
It
good.
is. And I guess that's what my annoyance is. Anything that gets trendy, but there's really like nothing of substance behind it, because they don't really know what they're talking about. They're just thinking that this is what it means. And so I'm just going to keep saying it because it makes me feel better to throw a label on someone or to blame. It's like the blame game, like I'm going to blame everybody outside of myself but myself by labeling everyone. And I'm just like, no, like,
Because
we need to
I
stop that.
am a victim, but don't call me a victim because
Yeah.
I'm not a
Well,
victim.
yeah, and like empath and all these words like manifestation, twin flame, all these things, because it also, right, like limits like the experience that I think a person can have too. So I liked what you said. I actually can't regurgitate what you said, but you said something that was like making me think like it's almost like how can you encourage yourself and other people, I guess, to almost describe what they're feeling or what they're experiencing without providing them that language beforehand so they don't have to prescribe certain definitions to what they're going through.
Yeah. And I feel like because of the dating world, right? Like people are so happy to have all these labels because now they get to slap them on every shitty date that they go on. And it's like, no, you should just ask yourself why why did you even go on that date? And if you did it because you wanted to, and you were just whatever, then just say that. And it didn't work out. And there, like, it doesn't have to be, oh, he's such a gaslighter.
Yeah, I feel like that's a cop out from going deep. I feel like that's just like I'm just gonna put this easy little thing on it because I don't want to actually consider what the reality was.
Mm-hmm.
The ease of access. I always talk about the ease of access and information when it comes to social media. But now that, like, I never had thought about we were never supposed to be exposed to so many people via online dating. So we have an ease of access to people, and then because of that access, I never thought of online dating like that. So that's why it's like, oh, everyone fucking sucks. You were never supposed to see or have sex with this many people in your day-to-day existence. Back in the day, you would not have come into contact. You had to go out into the world and socialize. You couldn't just swipe left, swipe right, and have Billy Bob pop on up and pop up in you. Like, that's not how it was supposed to go.
Exactly.
I've seen people in comments, like when there's like some dating story video that pops up, like somebody will be like, oh, I went like on 3 dates in one day once, like 3 Tinder dates. I'm like, that's fucking bonkers, man. Like, as much as we were also just talking about like meet people, connect with people, don't be afraid to get in a relationship. It's like, okay, but like good quality, like try to seek out substance with these like connection points with others rather than I'm gonna see how many Tinder dates I can get in one day. Like, what are you even doing at that point?
No, but those will be the same people that are then crying about, I don't understand. Why can
I've tried so hard.
Like, really? Let me take all the receipts.
Yeah. It's sort of like, too, like the videos of the people who are like, I've applied for 1,487 jobs in 2024 alone, and I haven't gotten any callbacks for an interview. And it's like, well, that's a fuck ton of job. Like, how quality is like what you're submitting, to be honest.
Yeah. And are you doing anything? Are you following up? Are you probably are not, because you're just there submitting applications and not doing anything. You're not standing out,
Totally. Not, yeah. Where's your authenticity? Definitely. Oh my God, I love it. Okay, well, so I just adore you. I think everybody needs to like definitely check you out on social media. If you feel called to it, definitely book a reading as well. And you've got a story, I know, so we'll talk about that. But I just think you're so fascinating. And I think people should check you out just to see the difference. Like from any other guests we've had, like Karina, her content really is like, I don't know. There's just a different way that you're delivering information. You could talk about tarot and the same topic as any other tarot reader, but you have this other way of being with it, which means you're authentic with it. It's a beautiful thing. So please tell people how they can connect with you, where they can book you, etc.
Thank you so much. Well, you can find me on Instagram or on TikTok at Karina_healer1111. And then all my other social stuff is linked there. There's always a little link where you can clickety-click and book your appointments if you want a tarot reading. I also have a website. I sell crystals, crystal jewelry. So I have that available. And pretty soon I'm going to get into more astrology, but I don't feel that I'm ready. I feel that I don't have enough time for that. But I'll get there.
You will. Yeah, you're way more proficient.
The thing is that human design, if 2 manifestors initiate you and tell you you're ready, you're ready, boo. So
thank you.
And I mean, like, based on how many people I have to come across on TikTok who are like pushing their services, I'm like, you know way more than a lot of these people.
Thank you. I feel honestly it's just time. I need time to be able to open that up.
Look at the ethical, like, come on. It's just like there's like a good natured thing going on here. There's such a trustworthiness to you. I love it. Love it.
Thank you.
Seal of approval completely.
Well, yeah, when you open that up, let's get you back on in a year or so and see what kind of,
oh my gosh, I would love that. Of course.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. I would love that.
Yeah, you are a light. So everyone, I mean, if you haven't fallen in love with her via this podcast, well, then why are you listening?
I know. But thank you for listening. And check out all the show notes, all the links to follow her, book with her, etc., are below.
Yes.
And
Thank you for taking the time to talk with us. This
No,
was
thank you
wonderful.
guys so much. I really enjoyed and appreciate both of you for taking your time to do this interview. I'm so excited, and I hope that your show gains much success. I'm sending you guys all the good juju.
Thank you.
And I hope so many people listen to this and book everybody.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Do round
Yeah.
robin style. Let's go. Okay.
Do it,
Any
babe.
last words, Megan?
No, I just love this conversation. You know, I've had
Sure.
a emotionally charged day, and so, you know, to end my work day with you two was a motherfucking treat. And I love ya. I love ya both.
Love you too.
Love you guys.
All right. Until next time. Bye.